Welcome, everyone. I'm Wake, your host today for Shaman to Shaman, where we bring you interviews, shaman to shaman, healer to healer, teacher to teacher, with shamanic earth-based healers and teachers from around the world. As you listen, our hope is that the courage, beauty, and wisdom expressed in these offerings and the unique approaches to addressing individual, community, and global transformation will inspire you to add shamanic healing and exploration to your overall health routine of well-being. Shaman to Shaman is brought to you by Shamans Directory. To learn more about us, you can visit online at shamansdirectory.com, on YouTube, and through social media at Shamans Directory. Today, I'm honored and delighted to welcome Mayumi Beckers, modern medicine woman and founding member of Shamans Directory, to share her journey and current practice. Mayumi, welcome to the program. And I'd really like to talk to you first about your name, if we might, its meaning, and how really that has influenced you in your life.
Sure. Well, thank you, Wake, for offering this interview. So to begin with my name is Mayumi, and full name is Mayumi Beckers. I'm half Japanese and half Dutch. And Mayumi means actually the bow of the truth that was given by a Buddhist master teacher from Japan, as my parents have been practicing Buddhism throughout all my life. So I was giving this name, which is actually a beautiful name and a meaning. And of course, when I was growing up, I didn't really have much of an attachment or a desire of this name, because I wanted to be more normal as I grew up in the Netherlands. But later on, this name actually helped me to remember and focus on what I really need to do in my life to find my truth. For a long time, I've been not really following my truth and being in this Western sort of society, having different sort of goals to succeed in career and so forth. I moved around through different countries and had a really good career. But at some point, actually, it didn't really work for me anymore. All of the sort of methods I built for myself were not really working anymore. So I was actually seeking healing myself as well, because there were some, traumatic events as well happening in my life, which I didn't actually face and dealt with. So my name actually remembered me to really focus on myself and finding my own truth. And that's actually how the journey really began, to seek again the spiritual realms, of course, starting with the Buddhism practice to begin with, because I wasn't practicing on a daily basis throughout my life. It was kind of on and off, but it also remembered me to practice Buddhism again. And then I came in touch with shamanic practitioners who I had healing sessions with in London. And through that experience and also working with plant spirit medicine, I was actually on my own healing journey. And then I really realized that this way of living wasn't really working anymore. And I moved back to my home country, actually. So going back to my roots in the Netherlands, and there I sought to look for teachers who could help me in this process. And I never really thought I was going to be a practitioner myself. I always saw myself as a client, one who seeks healing, and not to actually provide anything to other people. But that sort of came along the way, and it was calling me. I kind of ignored it for a little bit, and then it called back again, and I thought, okay, I need to take this serious right now. And so I accepted the call. And from then on, actually, I studied a lot in the healing arts, and with different teachers, but also a little bit more about the basic anatomy and psychology type of studies as well. So, and I'm still, of course, learning. I've been learning about 5 years or so, full time, basically, the healing practices. And now I'm ready to offer it to other people as well.
That's so great, Mayumi. From what you're saying, I get the sense that you're a true global citizen. And I wonder, in terms of the places that you've lived and the experiences you've had, how does that influence your own offerings now?
I do think it influences greatly because, of course, I live in a Western society, like in the Netherlands, and I lived in Tokyo, in a very fast-paced city, then in London. And I really realized that, yeah, we kind of are not really in tune and slowing down our pace and becoming more conscious about ourselves and just kind of running away with different things. And I actually was also working in the fields of, commercial advertising and such. So it was quite an external way of viewing the world. And I think that is still there, especially when you see all the media and new technology coming up. It's not nothing has changed really much, just the technology or different type of ways of how people live in cultures and societies. And of course there's always changes, but the fundamental importances haven't really changed in this Western society. So it's still pretty external. It's we are not really learned to really be really in tune with yourself first and really seek inner guidance first instead of the outside world. So I see actually a lot of people probably have lost parts of themselves through this way of living and through the conditioned way of living. Not that it was a matter of choice, but it's actually a matter of not knowing what is maybe a healthier lifestyle. And I can see that a lot in Western society. So in that way, and also the sicknesses or diseases or mental problems that are associated with the Western society type of lifestyle, I actually experience myself as well, whether it's a burnout or sort of an addiction to different things, whether it's like, food, substances, or just not being able to be alone, or just always seeking stimulus from the outside to feed yourself. But that's actually often, associated with also some loss of the soul, the inner essence, the true essence that can flourish. So you're more guided in your natural, original way as you're meant to be here on earth. So I see that, of course, a lot around me, but I also experience it myself as well.
Mayumi, I think of the people I know, you are one of the most dedicated students I've ever come across. And I just wonder, I want to get to your present offerings, but before we do, would you mention a teacher or two or a spiritual experience you've had along the path, something that's influenced you in particular? What would you say?
I think in terms of like the spiritual practices, of course, Buddhism has been a guide for me that really helped me get stronger, even in times of, hardship as I experienced it. There were definitely like beautiful teachers and healers I sought guidance. One was Imelda Almqvist. And from then on, I trained with Diana Beaulieu to find the inner medicine woman within me. And without actually providing me different methods, but really do an inner sort of journey for that. And after that, I was really inspired by the Andean tradition. So I also studied with the Four Winds and with Don Mariano Quispe Flores from the Andes, and Puma Freddy Quispe Singona, and yeah, Juan and Ivan Nunes de Prado, Joan Parisi Wilcox. Well, there's actually many. Go
You
on.
have such a broad background and such a avid curiosity in putting your own shamanic framework together. That's what I feel a large part of this is about. So, getting to your practice, Mayumi, tell me about your practice and what kind of client would best be served by being in association with you.
Mhm. I think, of course, any person is welcome to, have a session with me. I do feel there's people who seek more meaning, and these kind of people are probably attracted to my work. Also, those who have already been on the spiritual path. Maybe it's just a subtle way of being on the spiritual path, like practicing yoga or practicing Buddhism, or being interested in sort of alternative ways of medicines. I think these kind of people would probably be more attracted to have a session with me. That's what I have seen so far. But there are definitely also some people who have some issues, and they don't know actually who to seek guidance for. That was actually the same way for myself, as I also sought healing from different healing modalities, but nothing was really actually clicking it for me. And I think the way I like to receive a healing, I also give it to them. So it will also be maybe a little bit of more of an education. It's
Hmm.
not only listening, it's also actually sort of providing some, tools or some perspectives of how to see the world in a different way, and not in a more like limiting way as they have perceived. So healing can sort of grow faster. So I want to give them a little bit more information as well. So I actually often also tell them about my own experiences, some of the hardships I had, so they actually, people can sort of relate to as well, and we can build a really trusted, sacred space for ourselves as well.
If someone was to see you for a very first time, Mayumi, how might a session proceed?
The first time, often I see a lot of heavy energies, so there will be a lot of clearing, and usually my sessions they tend to be a bit long because I want to get the most out of one session. So they're like minimum 2 hours, but often I have like 3 hours, and sometimes it can be even more, especially if they come here for a visit, because I actually do take the time to listen to the story. I know that with energy medicine, often people say, yeah, the story is not important, etc. And but I think it is good for someone to really be listened to, so I do take that time, and usually, because if it's a first session, and if one hasn't done energy healing before, there's a lot of heavy energies attached. So I see that, so I do quite thoroughly, and so that is a big part of it. But often this is also combined with some missing soul parts to retrieve that, empower animal retrieval, or any aspects that I see that is happening in the session, because of course I'm not doing it, and this is with the work of the spirit and the spirit beings, and with the client as well. So it's really a collaboration in this all.
It sounds like you might get very deeply involved with the life path of the people you work with. Would an association be with you over a long period of time, or are there shorter experiences they can have with you? How would you say, if we were to enter into a relationship, a shamanic relationship, What do you see as the time frame for that?
Hmm. It's a good question. I mean, I had like people who came here for a longer period of time and coming here for every month and really wanted to work on it, on their issues.
Right.
Um, but it's also often that people are kind of curious. So I'm not really planning immediately like a full package of sessions, although I do recommend. So sometimes people may come twice, but sometimes it's also just a one-off. And that's why I'm trying to get the most out of one session. So there's
Okay.
actually like some sort of a soul retrieval also included in this process because I do, yeah, in this Western society, a lot of soul loss is, of course, happening as well. So I do, yeah, try to get the most out of it. But I, of course, recommend all the time that it's better to come back, and work further, maybe on a deeper level. But I kind of also keep that to the client as well, and for what they feel is necessary.
I wonder, Mayumi, you've got such a depth of knowledge and a diversity of approach. Is there a favorite shamanic intervention or one that really speaks to you that you find very effective in your work?
What happens a lot, aside from what I just mentioned, also ancestral healing. And there's always something else attached when someone comes for a healing. So there's always another family member, or yeah, recently there was a past life experience, or someone has passed away. There's always another element attached with another being, basically. So it's never only for the client itself, mostly, but what I do notice is, yeah, I started also to use my voice with singing, and that sort of accelerates the process during the session as well. So I do sing that for the client, for some messages that I feel is necessary, but sometimes also for the spirits or the maybe deceased peoples or the ancestral lineage of the client, for forgiveness or any healing or whatever is needed, but sometimes also for heavy clearing energy. And I feel like when I do that, it's yeah, really helping a lot as well to speed the process of the session, within the session.
I don't think there are many practitioners who integrate voice and song in the way you do. Could you say a little bit more about that? Like, how does that really fit in?
Yeah, it's sort of naturally happened in a way. And I also started actually singing in public when my mother passed away, and I wanted to create a ceremony for her. So it was a bit, difficult, but it started with the one-on-one sessions. And of course, I was very inspired by the ayahuasca ceremonies I've been attending, and now I'm also assisting. So I was very much inspired also by the beautiful female voices that I heard, and I kind of integrated that into the sessions. And I just really noticed that, yeah, it was really working very much. So that's why yeah, it's kind of became part of a session with me. So yeah.
I have had the benefit of hearing your voice on another occasion. Would you be willing to offer something that would let us get to know this part of you and your practice?
Sure. Yeah, I'm thinking of like which one should I do? um, sure. Is it okay to use my rattle, perhaps?
I would like to hear that. Yes, let's give it a go.
Okay. So this is a song, a simple song, but it's really about also coming back to yourself. So really being in tune with your own soul and being brave to go on the journey. Yeah.
Yes.
hero, heroine, make that journey, learn and evolve, hero, heroine, make that journey, learn and evolve. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hero, heroine, turn the wheel and make the leap. Hero, heroine, turn the wheel and make the leap. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Come home, come home now. Get in touch with your true self. Come home, come home now. Get in touch with your true self. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Come home, come home now. Express yourself, your sacred essence. Come home, come home now. Express yourself, your sacred essence. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Thank you so much, Mayumi,
You're welcome.
for sharing your voice, for sharing your inspiration. I feel that what you offer there travels both within and it's something for people to carry with them. Do you find that?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I'm kind of also, of course, integrating all of the teachings that I've learned and what, is meaningful for myself and want to share that with other people as well. So I think it's, yeah, a deeper meaning basically that I like to offer during a session or during a ceremony. So people really come back to themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's a rare treat. I really appreciate you sharing part of your work with us. Is there anything further you'd like to say about that particular song that you chose?
I just thought about yeah, sharing this song because it's more related to the practice and related to the clients and for people who may seek this connection with themselves. And that's why I picked this song. I also thought about maybe, sharing a song that was more related with the directory because when we just started the directory, I had this song, and I didn't know where this interview would go with, but of course, this is also part of my life, part of your life, our lives, all of us, to build and create this beautiful directory with all these amazing healers and teachers. And then, I was sort of thinking like, sure, share something like that. But for this time, I thought it was good to do something that's interesting for potential clients, whether they want to seek assistance with me or anybody else. It doesn't really matter, but it's just like, to show how a session might, look like with me, which is included also with this singing as well. Um, so that's a bit of the sound healing that I use with my voice.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing this, Mayumi, and I'm glad you started to talk about the Shamans Directory because that was my next line of questioning. Because you are a founding member of the directory itself, and I feel that part of your international background has added to this desire of you to co-create Shamans Directory. And in particular, I'm interested in this vision, one fire, one medicine. And I wonder, how did you arrive at that vision? And what does it really mean to you?
Well, we are all in pivotal times, and it's very important that something is going to happen or some movement is going to happen right now. And before working on this directory and before my shamanic practice, actually, I did do some volunteering work for peace charity. So I was actually sort of prepared doing this and also with my advertising background. So it was very easy for me to say yes to this project. So really saw that something needed to change and for people, come together and finding their own truth because there's probably a lot of different avenues, but I feel like with the Shamans Directory to create a sacred sort of community and doing our work together collectively and working with the energy and encircling that energy, beautiful energy around the earth, is probably the way for me. And I'm, of course, very inspired by the Indian tradition as well, which I very much, yeah, resonate with. I really much relate to that. That I feel like this is sort of like could be maybe the way to go forward. And of course, there's many beautiful organizations also out there who feel that call and doing it all in their own way. But that's what I thought with the directory, that is very, yeah, a momentous time to come together and unite in service as well.
What is the structure of Shaman's Directory for those who don't know?
The structure of the directory, we have basically three type of groups of people that we relate to. So of course it's the Shamans Directory, all the healers and teachers and great ambassadors that are supporting that. And then it's also the clients, so more the people who will be interested to receive healing uh, or receive a teaching, perhaps. And then there's another group, the curious, who are, want to maybe know a little bit more about shamanism, because at this point, it's not really much well known about. You do have to seek for it to sort of know that this kind of work is out there. And I think in this time it is changing, so people are becoming more aware, but it's not at that level as we might want to be at. And it's of course a very natural way, an Asian way of honoring the nature and all living things and communities as well. And I think, yeah, that's especially in the Western society, that's been very much lost, and we need to sort of rebuild that or go back to this important knowledge that has been always around us and actually available to us, although we had to seek for it perhaps. But now there's this platform that could offer it more broadly to global community. So we hope to, grow and create more awareness around that. And that can work at an individual level, like a micro level. So just to grow the consciousness within, but also expand that more in a global level as well. And inspire, hopefully, also all the peoples and organizations to, think in another way or work on themselves so changes can be made.
I love Shamans Directory in the fact that it's accessible to people who may not be familiar with the shamanic arts. It allows practicing shaman to reveal themselves, to choose to share their medicine and some aspect of their work. And it allows the shaman to get to know one another and build the community in that way, as well as be an introductory place for people who want to learn more about what is this lost art or what is it composed of. The other aspect, of course, Mayumi, that you've mentioned is the global aspect. As I understand that there are shaman and practitioners from all over the world who are joining Shamans Directory. And there are also programs that are being offered. Could you explain that a bit?
Yes, our directory, of course, is for all of us, and we really want to involve many peoples and from First Nation original peoples to be included in this directory, because I actually think like they are, yeah, very important, essential in this whole work, because that's like the authentic knowledge that we really want to preserve. So it's not just the of course the Western trained shamanic practitioners, but also the original peoples, to bridge all of these peoples and come that and yeah, gather together on this platform. So that's quite an important part, and to sort of unite in that and make it all whole, and share their knowledges as well with each other, and be inspired and get inspired by each other. So that's also an important part from about the directory.
Well, to weave the shamanic community together, to bring it to people's awareness and consciousness, to grow our knowledge of one another and different shamanic paths, seems like a very important calling. And I know you, in particular, have been extremely dedicated to this work, and I wish you all the best. And so many people want to contribute to the movement. And I think that's one thing that you mentioned the other day that was interesting to me. It's a directory and it's a movement.
Right. Yes, we're not just a directory. We like to say that we're a movement, so it is actually also an active sacredness. So it's also everything is sacred activism at the same time. Being in this difficult time at this moment, we see that actually a lot of things are not really working at this moment. So we need to sort of change and evolve from that. So it's kind of an awakening within ourselves, awakening about all the parts of ourselves that we need to sort of hold, but also at the global level as well. And I think that's what we, yeah, like to do also with the directory. So it's more than just a directory. Of course, we think it's very important that it's gives very easy access, so people can really easily find a shamanic healer or teacher that is good for you or that feels good for you based on different criteria. And that's of course the fundament of the directory, so people can make appointments and really grow on yeah, work on themselves on the individual level, but ultimately it's also about bringing a group together and doing this together for the global healing and awakening, yeah, of itself, and really, make a difference for the earth.
I'm very curious, Mayumi, about the issue of sacred activism. How would you describe that, really? What does that term truly mean to you?
For me, this whole directory is all about sacred activism. We're doing this actually in our free time on a voluntary basis. So I think every single bit of what we're doing is not necessarily only for ourselves individually, but it's also, what we can do for other people as well. And for, in a global sense, in a whole as well.
So you're talking then about personal healing and about global impact, both together, it
Yeah,
feels.
yeah, yeah. That's yeah, for me that's yeah, very much of a big part, but that's also, as I mentioned a little bit before, about my background, and also the Buddhist background, that was also very much a lot about creating, peace in the world. And I knew, like, I could work on these things, but it all starts with yourself first, and then you can sort of work together to, sort of spread it all out a little bit more, right? So yeah, for me it's been always like that, for on the individual and the global level. Yeah.
Naomi, I'd like to ask you if you do have anything more you'd like to be sure to say to people, either a potential client or someone curious about joining Shamans Directory. And I think it might be best to end after you speak whatever words you choose to offer that song about the Shamans Directory that you mentioned earlier.
Right.
So if you're willing to do that, before we get
Okay.
to the song, is there anything else you want to leave people with, either clients or those considering the exploring the directory?
Well, I think everybody has the power to act in a sacred way, but also in a truthful way, on a single daily basis. And whatever that is, that's not really important. But you are always able to plant seeds. That's what the song is also about,
Hmm.
for yourself, in your own healing journey. But anything, you do can be for yourself and also for other people and for the earth itself. So whatever you do, whether you're a client and you want to work on yourself, and you're already booking a session, is already planting a seed, you already set something in motion, or doing something for your family, is something that you are actually creating seeds, and for positivity or something like that, that you would like to, express and honor. And of course in the bigger level, for uh, people to join the directory, I think we're all planting the seed in this together to bring about change in a positive way, to nurture each other as well within our community, but also, you know, as it is an ongoing, evolving process, to seek for ways that could help accelerating this process around the world.
I would be blessed to hear the song, and if you could say when it came about or what the circumstances of its creation were.
This song really came at the beginning when I was working on the directory. And of course, it's very much inspired by the Andean tradition when you work with Kintus, three Bailey. And I remember when there was a difficult time, last years were not so easy. I sent like a postcard with three Baileys, and I wasn't sure if they would allow it, but I sent it to all my connections around the world, and you know, encouraged them to make their wishes and blow it into these three Baileys, which is you know, from Peru, of course. And I was very inspired by that tradition about, you know, that you can see everything as a seed, also see within yourself that needs to be awakened, but also sees that you can, you know, send energetic sort of wishes to, or anything that you want to honor, or anything, you know, yeah, you want to happen. So that's really why it came about, this song. And it sort of started, yeah, I heard this song basically when I was working on the directory. So yeah.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Okay. Planting the seeds for the past, the present, and the future. Planting the seeds for the past, the present, and the future. Thank you, ancestors, from the past, the present, and the future. Thank you, ancestors, from the past, the present, and the future. For generations to come, into the past, the present, and the future. For generations to come, into the past, the present, and the future. Planting the seeds for yourself, your family, and your loved ones. Planting the seeds for yourself, your family, and your loved ones. Thank you, ancestors, for yourself, your family, and your loved ones. Thank you, ancestors, for yourself, your family, and your loved ones. For generations to come, for yourself, your family, and your loved ones. For generations to come, for yourself, your family, and your loved ones. Planting the seeds for ourselves, our community, and the earth. Planting the seeds for ourselves, our community, and the earth. Thank you, ancestors, for ourselves, our community, and the earth. Thank you, ancestors, for ourselves, our community, and the earth. For generations to come, for ourselves, our community, and the earth. For generations to come, for ourselves, our community, and the earth. Planting the seeds.
Wow, thank you, Mayumi. I feel like I'm in the midst of a ceremony. Thank you for that inspiration, and I hope we'll hear that song and your other offerings time and time again.
Thank you, Wake, for this interview.
Mayumi, on behalf of Shamans Directory and the shamans of the world, I want to sincerely thank you for being such a vital part of this growing shamanic resource, Shamans Directory. You're a great contributor to the shamanic movement as a whole, and you've truly added your voice to the movement. And to those of you who are watching, thank you for joining us in this session of Shaman to Shaman. We hope you've been inspired. If you'd like to schedule a session or make an inquiry with Mayumi Beckers, or learn more about the other amazing healers and teachers who have chosen to join Shamans Directory, please visit us at shamansdirectory.com. Until next time, this is Wake. Thank you for watching our program, for living your sacred life, for walking your sacred pathway. Anye.